Hello YouTube, this is Umos03. In video 0 and lesson 0, which I've linked to in the description, what I described is that I was going to come up with a set of YouTube videos that outlined an entire tutorial of the Java programming language. This is new territory for me. I haven't really done any computer programming videos before. But as something new, as something that I'm interested in, what I thought I would teach people how to do or help them get better at is computer programming and writing code, whether you're trying to do it just for leisure, just for fun, just as a new hobby like fishing or water skiing, or whether you're trying to land a job as a software engineer. So hopefully in lesson 0, we talked a little bit about how we're just going to go to Google and we'll download this software program, this integrated development environment, this IDE called BlueJ, which will enable us to write Java code. Once you've done that, you should be able to pull up this project looking window in BlueJ. And if you haven't been able to do that, you would just go to the top here and you would select project here at the top, project, and then select new project, and you would be able to come up with a new project. So I just have one called YouTube tutorial. So maybe you can see that at the top if the zoom bar isn't blocking it. So YouTube tutorial. What we're going to do is start figuring out how to write code. Now that we have the software program, let's try to figure out how to write a software program. What we'll do is we'll press new class here at the top, and we're going to give the class a name. A class is basically it's a very special word in Java. It has a very special meaning. In order to fully understand classes, we'll have to get a little bit deeper into the tutorial, but for now it suffices to just think of a class as a file, a Java file. So go ahead and create a file called Hello World, or whatever you want to call it, but make sure that it's only one word. So it's not Hello World, it's Hello World, right? So one word, and then you're going to press the blue OK at the bottom right. And then you can go ahead and double click on this yellow file, on this new Hello World class that's been created within the project. You're going to see a lot of default code here. And you don't have to worry about what any of this means, because we're going to be, for two reasons. Number one, we're going to be explaining what these yellow boxes mean. These are called methods or functions. But number two, the second reason is because we're just going to be deleting it right now, and we're going to be starting simple. So go ahead and delete everything between the beginning curly brace in green and the ending curly brace in green. What you're going to do is write the following lines of code. I'm not going to explain really what they mean conceptually for now. It just suffices to write them and follow them along so that we can write our very first computer program. Public, static, void, main, string, args. So you see about 6 words there. There's a little bit of grammar. Remember, we have a couple of parentheses. We have 2 square brackets. And then you'll have open and closing braces or bracket. So which one's which, right? So we have square brackets and curly braces. Okay, so now you have in this program, not counting these blue comments up here, you should have 2 parentheses, 2 square brackets, and 4 curly braces. Inside of the yellow curly braces, you'll write System.out.println of hello world. So these are the words that you should write. And this is what you write in order to get the Java compiler to print a statement to the console. So this will print the words hello world to the console. This is the command to do it. It says System.out.println. And these parentheses, we're feeding in an argument. We know you want to print something because you said println. You're telling Java, hey, I want to print something, but then you have to specify, okay, what is it that you want to print? Well, I want to say, okay, I want to print hello world. So go ahead and print hello world. And so now we're going to ask Java to do that. We'll go ahead and press compile here at the top left, and then we'll press close. And then we'll go ahead and, if you're on a Mac, you could do control click. If you're on if you have a mouse or something, you could right click, but you're going to sort of try to right click that class that you've created here. So remember, we created the class, double click on it. It looks like this. We pressed compile, we pressed close, and now we're going to right click on it, and then you're going to see a drop down menu. Go ahead and click the void main string args. You're going to see curly braces in here, and you're going to press OK. And this is the code output. So now you can see hello world, and this is exactly what got printed. and this is what we were expecting. So this is what we were expecting the code to print is hello world, because that's what we specified it to print. So System.out.println, what this command does is it prints a new line, and then it goes over to the next line. So, you know, that you would say something like, it is a great day for programming, right? So what this does is it says System.out, so it prints hello world, but this ln here, what is ln? ln means line. So it's going to print hello world, and then it goes down onto a new line. So it says hello world, and then it says it is a great day for programming, and then it goes on to a new line again, because you have another ln. So technically it would go on to the third line, and then the third line is just blank because we don't do anything at that point. But you have to understand that after this programming, since we said ln, it goes down onto the third line. So what if you don't want to print a new line after you print something? So you can say something like my name. What if you said something like this? Is Peter. So we can think about what the code output here would be. If you just say System.out.print, it's just going to print what you specify, and then it just stays at the end of that string, at the end of that word. So it would just do my, and then maybe you can see a space there, right? So it looks like a my and then a space here inside of the quotations. And then immediately after that space, it's going to write name. So it doesn't go my and then name on the next line. It will be my name, because you said System.out.print. But then it's not going to be name is. Is not going to come right after name, because name is inside of an ln. So after you print name, it prints a new line. So it's going to be my name is Peter, because the ln's come after the ln. You know, the new line comes after whatever's in the ln, even though the ln shows up to the left of the name, right? Because intuitively you see the ln, you're like, oh, let me print a new line and then write name, but that's not how it works. It's, you know, name and then new line. So we can go ahead and verify that. Let's go ahead and compile and close it. Right click it, press void main string args, and press enter, and you get my name is Peter. The last thing that we'll talk about in this video is comments. So comments are great for helping a programmer understand someone else's code or your own code. What if you write some cool, confusing lines? You have this brain blast at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're drinking Red Bull, and you're like, oh, I figured it out. And then you crash, and you wake up the next morning, and you say, what the hell does this code do? Or maybe it compiles and does what you want it to do, but you don't conceptually understand why anymore. So comments will help you understand particular lines of code. So if you say System.out.println of, you know, 4, you know, this prints an integer or something like that. You know, you can basically explain to the code, explain to the programmer, explain to the English language, the human being, you know, what it is that the code does. So these are single line comments. So single line comments begin with 2 forward slashes. And obviously, you know, they are for the programmer, you, not the compiler, Java. Okay. And you can also have multiple line comments. So what if you want to have a comment that's not a few words, it's a few sentences, it's a paragraph, it's more of an explanation about something. What you're going to do is you're going to do a forward slash, and you'll do an asterisk, a star, and then just press enter, press return. And then it just automatically completes it for you. And then by now you can probably guess the pattern. So now new lines of your multi-line comments will have this little star to the left of them. And your multi-line comment begins with a forward slash and a star, and ends with a star and a forward slash. So multiple line comments can be on multiple lines, obviously, right? And so you can just see, so you started with forward slash for a multiple line comment. So in this video, you really should be comfortable with printing statements, the difference between System.out.print and System.out.println, and the difference between single line comments and multiple line comments, and when you would use each of them. From UMills03, thanks for watching, and please subscribe.